Last year, Jaguar spent $40 million on a rebrand that no one saw coming and even fewer asked for.
Absolutely insane.
I mean, just look at that thing. It's a bar of soap. How's that luxurious? But compare that to Chevrolet, which is doubling down as a family-oriented brand, perhaps riding the slowly building wave of pro-family sentiments in our culture.
Don't keep all the good stuff to yourself.
Last year, to pivot towards the burgeoning electric vehicle market, Jaguar decided to rebrand everything they were ever known for, tossing out decades of British heritage as the James Bond luxury vehicle, just to get a few more bucks from crypto influencers? Celebrities? Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah, I'm not really sure who this is marketed to. In fact, if I add the right music, it's like an animated horror film. But instead of maintaining their brand or expanding on it, they decided to move from a sleek, curvaceous frame of their signature vehicles to this generic, futuristic-looking thing. Seriously, I know I'm not a car person, so you can cook me in the comments, but I don't see any practical difference between this and Lucid. Who would have thought that every time I take a shower, I lose just a little bit of that luxurious Jaguar brand? But that wasn't even the core of the problem. Their ad featured these meaninglessly defined dancers posing in various garish outfits, but I'm sorry, what does that have to do with the car? That was a good presentation. Yes, but I'd like to know, what are the projections on how many cars this will sell in the next 10 years? Cars? Now, every rebrand is going to have its pain points. Trust me, I get it. That's entirely reasonable. When you're trying to change something so fundamental, it's going to be difficult. But I get the feeling that the company, Jaguar, didn't actually know or respect who its audience actually was. Now, for my brief research, the audience fell into two categories, both professionals and retirees who wanted luxury vehicles, and families who want a luxurious, stylish vehicle. Jaguar was probably trying to quote-unquote move forward and get out of just having these two pools to draw from, with an attempt to appeal towards younger generations or more general audiences. But in the process, I think they just threw it all away. Literally.
You need to understand the importance of saving money. And it's gone.
They've pretty much stopped producing their gas vehicles altogether for this pivot. And as a result, their sales have collapsed. I mean, I guess it makes sense. If you're not making any cars, then you're not selling any cars. So naturally, your sales are going to be zero. But they had these perfectly viable, and in my opinion, rather bland, vehicles that you can still find on some of their websites. And research showed that people kind of liked them. These would be the ones that fell into that I want to have a luxurious family vehicle category. But for whatever reason, Jaguar just pulled the plug on them. In my opinion, they removed themselves almost completely from that pool of customers to market to no one. Because the best they'll ever get from this rebrand is just another car company. What's the point in that? Have you guys seen that Cybertruck and how everyone hates it? How it's so boxy with sharp edges? Yeah, of course. Doesn't that thing look silly? Well, we fixed that. We made a Jaguar boxy with slightly round edges. Wow, great selling point. Give that man a raise. Nothing about this is unique, and that's the problem with the rebrand. For it to be successful, it has to rebrand to something that can be identified at a glance. When I look at a Tesla, I see the first meaningful electric vehicle. When I look at a Ford F-150, I see a monster hauler that can take whatever you throw at it. When I look at a Lexus, I see a luxury vehicle that the upper middle class can afford. Either that or I glance hesitantly in the rearview mirror, hoping I'm not about to be pulled over. But when I see this, I don't see anything. Seriously, I don't know what it is with car companies trying to make electric vehicles. They all think that we're supposed to have futuristic looking vehicles. So we now have to have characterless, smooth-edged, perfectly aerodynamic vehicles. Why? Why can't we have something that looks cool instead of something that looks like literally everything else? I mean, that's literally the problem with the car market right now. All the cars, or at least a lot of the cars, look exactly the same from one model to the other. They're all the same, perfectly aerodynamic gas vehicles. I don't want the same thing for electric vehicles. You're supposed to have way more room to play with. You should be able to do way more with them, not less. So if they wanted to do something that was genuinely out of pocket and worth their pivot, they could have rebranded to being the first affordable flying car. Now, I don't know that that would have been worth their time, money, and investment, but hey, at least that would be an identity. But this thing, that's not an identity. And that brings me to Chevrolet's new ad, which is aptly titled Memory Lane.
Don't keep all the good stuff to yourself.
It follows an older couple of empty nesters driving their 1987 Chevrolet Suburban to the family cabin, just like they've done for decades. As they're on the road, the empty back seats start to fill up with memories. You see flashbacks of their kids growing up in the Suburban. They drive past the Christmas tree farm. You see their children go to hockey practice, and even a daughter crying over breakup at college, while her mom tries to comfort her from the front seat. You see snow days, road trips, and all the messy, beautiful experiences of raising a family. But all the while, this beat-up but reliable Suburban has been there for every milestone, every laugh, every tear. The empty seats are now just a nostalgic reminder of all the years that passed, the experiences and the moments, both good and bad. And throughout the ad, the message is clear. That Suburban was part of the family, a lifelong journey that they all experienced together. Now, when I watched this, I didn't expect it to mean much to me. I mean, it's an ad. Woohoo. I don't really care. I'm not looking to buy a vehicle right now. But at the end, when the parents look at each other...
They never made it easy, did they?
Well, did you want it to be easy?
No. I wanted it to be just like it was.
It hit me. I am a father to 2 sons. I hope to raise my children one day to be capable adults who have families of their own. That could be me and my wife in that ad. I actually had to stop from tearing up suddenly because I remember the Jeep that my parents brought me home in for the first time from the hospital. I remember them dropping me off at college. I remember bringing my sons home after they were born and looking in the backseat and seeing those precious bundles of joy. I hope to raise them and watch them grow as well. And all those memories, those ideas, feelings, all collided at once, both past and future. The me that was and the me that could be. And it left a strong impression. An impression that had power because of all those core memories. And it said, I need a vehicle that will last the journey. And that's the key. A brand needs to mean something in a person's mind. It needs to solidify an image, a status, or a purpose. And Jaguar just threw out their image. They threw out their status. The triumph, vulgarity, and blandness that, in my opinion, ultimately appeals to no one. There's nothing unique about generic futuristic vehicle. And honestly, I'm rather saddened to see that over the last year, they haven't really done anything to repair their image. They've doubled down on their pivot. They've stopped production of all their vehicles, but at what cost? What have they lost? What have they gained in becoming a meme in the culture? There's nothing unique about generic futuristic vehicle. Any car company can make one, but not every company can reach down, grab a hold of your heart, and say, hey, we know your life is going to have those ups and downs, its joys and its sorrows, but we'd be honored to join you in that journey.
I climbed the tree to see the world.
Now perhaps Jaguar would build to fix his company and turn things around against all odds. Who am I after all? I'm just a random YouTuber on the internet. Maybe they know exactly who their core audience is going to be at the end of this pivot.
Controversy has always surrounded British creativity when it's been at its best.
But in my opinion, they failed to fulfill the #1 purpose of advertising, to appeal to the customer and give them a reason to purchase their product. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below your comments or criticisms, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!